Live? Is it live or is it memorized?
All right, so Shalom Yasharala, we are back. I'm going to read Luke. I'm way ahead in the future. Matthew chapter 15 now.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew 15 in the Hebrew first, or Ba'abari Ra'ash. I'll send a link out now for the YouTube video, or the YouTube link, but it should pop up if you have us as a subscriber. It didn't connect. Thought I connected this already. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That's not working. Let me close it, open it again. All right, sit tight 1 second. Supposed to just hit send and keep going, but it didn't work the way I wanted it to. Let's try it again. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, good. So this is Matthew chapter 15 by Baria Ra'ash. And it reads, yes. As Ba'awa O Yahweh Shai Hasawa Pariam Waha Para Washim Ashara Maya Ra Shalom Waya Ra Shala Yam 2 Waya Marwa Ma Dawai Falama Yad Yaka Ibarium Af Kuala Salah. For both Salah. Quabalaf Ha Zaquanium Kaya Aya Nam Rakhatzayim Af Yad Yaham Ba'akalam Lakam 3 Waya Ain Waya Amar Al Yaham Madawai Gum Atam Ibarium Af Matazawath Alahayam Ba'abhor Wabalafkam 4 Kaya Alahayam Tazawab La Amar Kabad Af Abiyaka Wa'af Amak Amaka Wama Kwalo Abiyawa Mawa Mawath Yawamath 5 Yatham Amariam Amar La Abiyawa Wala Mawa Quara Bun offering Ko Ma Shatha Na Hana Layab Ayan Ayawa La Kabad Ath Abiyawa Wa Ath Amawa 6 of the Parwa Ath Matazawath Ha Alahayam Ipor Quabalafian 7 Kanapium Ha Hayatab Naba Ilyaham Yeshayawa La Amar 8 Ha'ain Hazar Nagash Bapayawa, Waba Shapat Yawa, Kabad, Wania, sorry, Walabwa, Rachak, Mamnia. 9. Wathawa, Wathahawa, Yaratham, Afya, Matazawath, Anashim, Malamadium. 10. Waya Korah, O Ha'ain, Waya Amar, Laham, Shemaiwa, Wahabayanwa. 11. La'a, Aba, O, Pa, Apa, Yatama, Af, Ha, Adam, Kaya, Pahawa, Tazab, Man, Apa, Hawa'a, Matama, Af, Ha, Adam. 12. Waya Gashwa, O, Yawa, Thala, Mayad, Yawa, Waya Amarwa, Hayada'ait, Kaya, Hapara, Washyam, Ba, Shemayim, Af, Hadabar, Hazar, Na Kashawa, Bawa. 13. Waya Ain, Waya Amar, Ko, Ma'ait Ashara, La'a, Nata, Abaya, Shaba Shemayim, Ikwar, Ya Ikwar. 14. Wana Yakwa, Awatham, Nana Salat, Manahoyam, Iworium, Hama, Iworium, Wakaya, Yawoyaka, Iwor Af, Iwor Wanapoa, Shanyaham, Bathawak, Habawar. 15. Waya Ain, Patarwas, Waya Amar, Olyawa, Ba'ar, Lanawa, Af, Hamasho, Azar. 16. Waya Amar, Yahawashai, Idana, Gum, Athum, Ba Ayan, Ba Ya Bayana. 17, right? Aiwad La'ab, Tashaka Yowa Kaya Ko, Haba'a O, Hapa, Yawarad O, Hakarash, Yawashapat, Masham, Lamawa Tazawa. 18. Abo, Yawataza, Man, Apa, Yawataza, Man, Halab, Wahawa'a, Matama, Af, Ha, Adam. 19. Kiya, Man, Halab, Yawataza, Yawatazawa, Makashabwa, Ra, Rataza Yakwa, Na'a Wapyam, Zawa, Zana Wanyam, Ganabawath, Idawath, Shakur, Wagada Wapyam. 20. Oha, Hum, Hamatama Yam, Af, Hadam, Abo, Akawo, Boya, Natala Salah. Natayalaf, Yadyam, La'a, Yatama'af, Ha Adam. 21. Waya Taza, Yahweh Shai, Shema, that's like Masham, Waya Sar, O, Galayowa, Taza War, Waya Taza Yada. 22. Wa Hana, Asha, Hana Ain Ya, Yataza A, Man, Hagaba Wowa, Aham, Watha Taza Ike, Olyawa, La Amar, Ha Nanya, Danya, Bun, Dawad, Kaya, Bafya, Ma'aina, Ma'ad, Io, Yadya, Shad. 23. Wahawa'a, La'a, Aina, Ata, Dabar, Waya Gashwa, Talama Yadyawa, Wayaba Kwashwa, Mamanwa, Lamar, Shalakha, Kaya, Taza Aikwa, Haya'a, Akar Yanawa. 24. Waya Ain, Waya Amar, La'a, Shalakthia, Kaya, O, Hataza'an, Wa'a Badwa, Labayat, Yasha'ala. Oops, almost got that one wrong. Yasha'ala. 25. Wahaya'a, Ba'a, Wa Tha, Shayakwa, Lawa, Lama, Adanya, Izar, 26. Waya Ain, Waya Amar, La'a, Tawab, La Kwa Khaf, Af, Lacham, Abanyam, Wala Ha, Shalayakwa, La Taza'ai Yarya, Ha Kalabyam. 27. Wa Tha'amar, Kan, Adanya, Tapas, Kaya, Gum, Taza'ai Yarya, Ha Kalabyam, Ya Kolwa, Mapar, Waryam, Hana Poyam, Ma'ayo, Shokan, Adan Yaham. 28. Waya Ain, Yahweh Shai, Waya Amar, Yaha, Asha, Karala, Amawa Nafka, Yahaya, Laka, Kara Teza Wanka, Watharapa, Batha Man Sha'ai. Let me see. Sha'ai. Because it's I and the Ha connected. Ay. Sha'ai. Haya. 29. Where I bar Yahweh Shai Sham speech. Oh boy. Waya Ba'a, is that what you have? Oh, Yum, Hagale, Yo, Waya Ayo, Hara, Wa Yeshab, Shum. 30. Waya Ba'awa, O, Yawa, Hama one I'm Rab wa I'm Salah wa I'm Hum Hasakyam Iworium Ha Rashium Quatayam wa Rabium Ka Kahama Wayapayo Wam Lara Goyam Yahawashai Waya Rapaayam 31. Waya Famahawa. Is that right? Keep thinking I'm about to read the same line twice.
I know, I might see it too.
I'm Bara with them. What's that?
Yeah, otherwise, I think I'm right for reading the same.
Mm-hmm. Bara with them. Af Alumnium Madabarium Waha Quatayam Barayayam Waha Asakyam Matha Lakyam Waha I Warium Ra'ayam Ra'ayam Waya Shabak Wa Af Alahaya Yasha Allah 32. Waya Korawa Yahawashai O Talama Yad Yawa Wa Waya Amar not Kamawa Ya Kham Ya Ail Aim Kiya Za Shaf Ya Womyum Imadwa Imadya Wa Yan Lahum Ma La'ako Wa Ya Nanya Aba Lashala Kam Ra'abium Pun Yatha I Lapwa Badarak 33. Where Marwa Olyawa At Salama Yad Yum Ma'ayan Lanawa Diya Lakham Bamadabar La Ha Shabayai Af Hahamawan Ha Garawo Za 34. Waya Amar Yahawashai Al Yaham Kama Kakarwath Lakam Waya Amarwa Shabai Wama'ait Dagyam Quatanyam 35. Waya Tazawa Af Hamawan Ha'ain La Shabath La Rataza 36. Waya Kwak Af Shabai Kakarwath Halacham Wa'af Hagadium Waya Barak Waya Paras Waya Thun O Hafala Mayadyam Waha Fela Mayad Yam Nathanwa La'ain 37. Awaya Aya Waya Akowa Kalam Waya Shabawa Wala Shawa Man Hapata Hapatha Wathium Anawa Thorium Shabai Dawadium Malayam 38. Koyam Hayawa Arabaif Alapya Ayash Malabad Ha Nashim Wa Atap. 39. Waya Shalak Af Aim Waya Rad Ba'anaya Waya Ba'a O Gabawo Magadala. Okay. So now this is Matthew chapter 15 in the English now. 14. Upside down. Jesus. You gotta fix that. I'm gonna rotate this. Later. So this is Matthew chapter 15 now in the English. So Matthew chapter 15 and verse 1 reads, Then came to Yahushua, scribes, Pharisees, that's weird. Okay. Then came to Jesus, scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying. So like we see with Christ as he's doing his ministries, he's being questioned by different authority figures, right? He's going around teaching. They want to see if he's, legitly the son of the Most High, or if he's just some other charlatan just trying to want attention to himself. Verse 2, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. So we're going to see here, and we see in other places in the gospel, you'll see this desire Israel has to keep customs made by man and hold those in higher regard than the actual customs that come from the Heavenly Father directly, right? So they're always trying to find something wrong with anything that Yahushua is saying or doing. And then they're trying to use this as a means to say, hey, what's going on with you and your disciples? You guys don't, wash your hands before going out and coming in, right? As it was a customary thing that they did. Not to say it was wicked, but you have to weigh things in the balance as far as importance, right? Priority. But their priorities were clearly going off because their main priority was to try to make Christ look like he was lacking, right? Because they felt, sadly, they should have just hearkened unto him. Some Pharisees did, but as a whole, they felt threatened by his authority, the things that he was doing, and how he could upset the balance of power and a nice arrangement they had with the Romans, as far as them being de facto rulers of the people, even though technically the Romans ruled us. Falconer?
I'm thinking about how where we went to the elders.
As you find it, just explain further what you mean. We went to the elders. Like what time frame? Who was it? When?
Yeah, I'm looking at elders.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus 3:16.
Okay, so this links with verse 1.
We have a snake here.
We could talk about that after we're live.
Okay.
I don't think so. Exodus 15 and what?
No, Exodus 3:16.
Oh, okay. Oh, this links with 15 and 1, right?
Yeah, I'm saying, with the elders. So we went to the elders.
Oh no, that one's not. No. There should be one in the shower in the back.
Yeah, it didn't go down with that. Try this one.
Can you give me a hand with that, Baba Kushar, since we're Not the best timing. That one's not going to work. It's going to flip inside out. Trust me. It's not going to work.
You missed the lesson. You might as well just leave it, just shut the door and use that back.
Okay.
So go ahead and call in and read it once you have it.
I was reading, I'm thinking about Exodus 3:16. It just says, "Go and gather the elders of Israel together."
Okay.
So we had elders and so, but according to the law, we kept the law of the Most High, and we would go to the elders for certain advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Gabar,
saying
can
here
you,
to do
in case someone else has to
tradition.
use it during the service, can you see me help them out? Just in case someone else has to use it before the.
Can we use that?
Maybe.
You're not going to get back from it. And after the service over, then we just pick it up. You need a snake for that dog. I got a snake at my house. But them plungers not working. We might just leave it alone until we finish the service. And we'll take care of it at the service.
I don't know if this one's good to use though.
The new dog, huh?
The piping underneath.
I'll try, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Okay, if you could, that'd be great. And then just, like you said, forget about it if it doesn't work.
You know, so we had elders in Israel. That's just in Exodus 3:16. It says, "Go and gather the elders of Israel together."
Mm-hmm.
But the elders of Israel, they kept the law. But they're saying the tradition of the elders instead of the law,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think these elders here. I mean, over time, yeah, that would happen. But this was more of like the righteous foundation. These elders were actually dealing with the law. It wasn't like bylaws. You know what I mean? As far as Exodus 3:16. And that was the beginning when we were establishing our government, as a nation, right before leaving out of Egypt.
But here it said the tradition of the elders.
Right. So the context here is not so much going into the righteous laws that we kept in times past, like during that time of Exodus, but more so things that became customary that weren't necessarily in the law, things that we did. And then over time it began to take on more importance than the law itself that they began with. And not to say they're not keeping any of the laws, but it's just, like we were saying earlier, the priority that's weighed on one versus the other. These traditions, they started to gain more prominence than actual laws like the Sabbath day or laws of uncleanness, things like that, which should definitely be in the forefront of our mind. So they're asking this question about why don't they follow the tradition of the elders? They wash not their hands when they eat bread. Verse 3, but he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? Right? So now he's going to flip it on them and go, well, hold on, there's something that you guys do. You go against the Most High's commandment. And your tradition has you do it. So he's going to get more specific. Verse 4, for power commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. Right? So for 15 and 4, the two laws that he's quoting here, one we should definitely be familiar with because it's part of the 10 Commandments, right? Honor thy father and mother. You can just write down Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12. Once again, Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12. You can write as a link. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12, which says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Right? That's part of the 10. And then, okay. And then also, when it says, he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death, to link that with Exodus chapter 21 in verse 17. Once again, Exodus 21 and 17 is the other one that you can link. So Exodus chapter 21 and verse 17 also linked with verse 4. Which Exodus 21 and 17 is, write it down for your notes. Exodus 21 and 17, it reads, oops, wrong chapter, there we go. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Now, when we see curse in the scriptures, remember, we're not talking about profanity like dropping, the F-bomb or saying S-H-I or B-I-T or whatever else. When you see curse in the scriptures, that's not going into what we might call profanity, but it's saying like you're wishing ill will upon somebody. Like a curse is like, I'm not saying it for anybody, but just as an example, I hope you die of a strange disease that's incurable. I hope you die painfully. I hope you get hit by a car and you go out in the street. Like that's a curse, wishing ill will upon somebody, as opposed to profanity, which in the common vernacular we usually say is, cuss words. It's really just
Wishing
profanity.
ill will upon somebody.
Right. Just like when the Most High blessed us and cursed us, right? The curses, if you don't keep my commandments, you're going to be cursed in the city, cursed in the field. It's not going to go well with you. Curse shall be your basket in your store, right? And you're not going to have a lot of money coming in and a lot of things growing in your field, etc. and so forth. That doesn't mean use profanity. You don't have to use profanity. The scripture says, "Let all things be done to edifying." So you can still edify someone without using profanity, even though it's not a curse. So, reading on, so Christ is referring to these particular laws in for a reason. Honor father and mother, cursing father or mother should be put to death. Verse 5, but ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. So you can provide a gift, or you see in the Hebrew, korban, or you get that word, the name korban, which means offering. So according to their tradition, you could offer a gift, but then still honor not father and mother, and you'll be delivered, or you'll be free from that judgment, which technically should be, you should be put to death. You can't just give a gift and go, oh, okay, all good now, right? But he's saying according to their tradition, that's what they do. That's why he said in verse 3, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your own tradition, rather by your tradition? So that's the whole thing. He's not saying tradition is bad per se, but he's saying if tradition is getting in the way of you doing the commandments of the Most High first and foremost, then what good is that tradition, right? Think about it. What profit is there in even doing this thing? This whole concept you guys have of giving a gift. So in verse 6, I'll read it again. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be set free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. So you pretty much just nullified the whole thing of honoring father and mother, cursing father and mother, and now it's punishable just by giving a gift. That's not good. Right. So what's your question, brother?
You say honor that father and mother. You said, let's have faith in God. That's your condition.
You have to read 5 and 6 together. Let me read 5 and 6. Let me read 5 again. But ye say, so now he's quoting them, the Pharisees, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be set free. So that's what they can do by offering a gift. Thus have you made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. So by you having this this tradition of giving a gift, even after you dishonor father or mother, that you're set free, that goes against the commandment of God. See that now?
That's what they talking about.
Right.
They said if they disrespect your mother and father, they just give their mother and father a gift, and then they feel that their mother and father forgave them.
That they don't have to receive the judgment for dishonoring father or mother, or cursing father or mother.
Well,
It's like almost like a bribe, if you will. It comes off as like a bribe. Hey, just take this gift, and you can keep doing what you're doing. If you do it again, oh, here's a gift. Which there's no law that says, oh, just give a gift and then you can dishonor father and mother. That's their tradition. That's why he's saying, anytime you have a tradition and it goes against the law of the Most High and the judgment that comes from it, from either keeping it or breaking it, that's a a tradition you should set aside.
and their tradition is coming from the sacrifices that when they commit a sin, they sacrifice to God. That's where they get that tradition from. Did you see that?
How do you know that for sure?
It just looked like it's following the same pattern. When you commit a sin, you kill a lamb and put it up for sacrifice so God can forgive you. And they commit a sin against their parents, they just give their parents a gift and call it a day. That's what they did. That's what it looked like to me.
I hear that, but the way Christ is talking about it, he would have just referenced it. He would have referenced the verse like he did with the other commandments. He calls it their tradition. So the way he's bringing it out, it's like something that they came up with on their own.
But then he said, you made the covenant of God of none effect by your tradition. So now he's saying, since you sinning and you give him the gift, just like you kill a lamb, you give a gift. God said the same thing earlier in the chapter when he got tired of his sacrifices, remember?
I hear that, but I don't think that's what Christ is talking about here, that they're doing. Otherwise, he just would have said that. This is something different. And you don't read about them using that sacrifice to deal with, dishonoring father or mother or cursing father or mother. And while it could be used for sin, I'm not sure.
Well, when you
it could be used for that.
Dishonoring God, the laws.
Well, sin is the transgression of the law. So if you don't honor your parents, that's a sin. If you dishonor, that's a sin, because the law says honor father and mother. And it says don't curse them. If you do curse them, that's a sin. So the way that Christ is talking about this from the context, it's like something else that they could come up with as like a pardon, their own version of a pardon, to say, oh, it's okay. Just give this gift.
Okay. This is what the person is saying, as far as what he considers. But they ain't in the law.
So reading on in verse 7, because this is pretty much what Christ can do all day long. He could pull out the hypocrisy of things that the Pharisees teach, but then what they do is something very different. Because they will teach about the law, the commandment, but they'll be hypocritical in how they keep it and how they execute judgment on certain points. That's why he says in verse 7, ye hypocrites, well did Esaias the prophesy of you, saying, Esaias prophesy of you. This Esaias is just a different spelling for Isaiah, right? It's translated from the Greek. Well did Esaias saying, verse 8, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. We got to make sure we don't fall into this trap ourselves, right? Because you have a lot of our people that Sunday morning, right, in church, clapping their hands, playing the organ, right, saying, oh, praise the Lord, praise God, right? But then their heart, which is their mind, they're thinking about something else. They're doing something that's not according to scriptures, worshiping the sun in the sky, don't even know it, dealing with some other kind of idol, right? Praying to Nimrod and his son Tammuz, not the Most High and his son Christ. So with verse 8, the scripture that he's referring to, the link with 15 and 8, that's in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 29. Isaiah 29. When you get chapter 9, just write these verses down if you don't if you can't get them.
15 and 8.
Yeah. Yes. Just want to keep going. Just make sure you write down the links for the verses. So Isaiah 29 and 13, it says, "Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men." See that?
You say Isaiah 29, 13 or 9?
That's right.
9 to 13.
No, just Isaiah chapter 29 and then verse 13.
Okay.
So instead of following the Most High's precepts, they're following man's precepts. Man's law over what God's law says. That's what all the religions of the world do, right? They'll take bits and pieces of the Bible, but they mix it with their own stuff, right? Not just in religion, but in politics. They'll take bits and pieces from the law, and they mix it with their own thing, more so their own thing, right? And just put little garnishings of the Bible in there, right, for nice decoration, right? We always make the joke at camp, right? They say before you take a public office, right, state level, municipal level, state level, federal level, you swear, right? On this law, you swear to tell the truth, hold you nothing but the truth, so help you Anna, right? I do. And then they get rid of that. They bring out their own law and judge you out of that. And then it's like, wait a minute, you guys just broke this, and this, but then you're holding me accountable for your own precept. It's supposed to be the law of the land for everything. It's supposed to govern politics, economics, and religion, all aspects. But yeah, the people have been made to be confused. So back to back to Matthew 15. I'll read verse 9, which is pretty much still echoing Isaiah 29. It says in Matthew 15 and 9, "But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandment of men." Right? Reading on in verse 10, "And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand." So he's trying to get their attention, right? So hear what I'm about to tell you, and make sure you understand what I'm about to tell you. Verse 11, "Not that which," and this is this is a big stumbling block for a lot of the churches, as we're about to read right now, right? They think it's talking about one thing when it's talking about something else. But as we read on, we're going to see, because remember, the subject here in 15, what we're talking about is the traditions of men, the traditions that the Pharisees were pushing as if they were God's law. Right? This is the focus here. We'll see it as we get through it. So Matthew 15:11. I see Gabar smiling because he knows what I'm talking about. Verse 11, it says, "Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth the man, but that which cometh out of the man, out of the mouth, this defileth the man." So what happens? Our people in the church, they throw their hands up, right? Oh, see, what do you guys talk about this dietary law, right? Whatever God made, we can bless it in his name, right? What's the scripture in Timothy's? Nothing to be refused. They go to that scripture in Timothy. Nothing to be refused, brother. Nothing to be refused. I could pray over that squid, that calamari, those scallops, right? I could pray over those things and they'll be blessed of God. When the Most High made it very clear. It comes out the water, fins and scales. It has that fins and scales. If it walks on land, it's got to have a cloven hoof with a divided hoof and has to chew the cud. You have many animals, it's like you have many fish that fit that category that you can choose from. But no. Not today, not in Babylon the Great. They got to find all those unclean things and go, let's figure out a way to dress these, prepare these, season these, eat these for our consumption. Like we talk about natural garbage cans, animals the Most High made to clean up the filth and waste of the earth. That's their purpose. That's why he said, with these kind of animals, eat these. That's why we always put the expression out there. It's actually a compliment to you are what you eat. You are what you eat, but then also on top of that, you are what you eat eats. So look at what you're eating. Look at what it eats. Right? For the lawful animals, you'll see that what they tend to eat vegetation. Right? That as far as for meat goes. But for the animals that eat waste, like pigs and camel and vultures and cats and dogs, why would you want to eat what they're eating, let alone eat them? So it's just reasoning on top of reasoning behind why the Most High made a dietary law the way that He did. Right? Everything's made according to its purpose. This for eating, this not for eating. Right? That's why you go back to Genesis 7. You don't have to get it. You can just write down Genesis 7, 1 and 2. And they don't show this with the Noah and the Ark story. Right? First of all, they got Noah looking like Rip Van Winkle or something, looking like Kris Kringle. And he was a man of color. But now, what's the picture we always see as kids? 2 of every animal getting on the ark. If you read in Genesis 7, right? It actually tells you what, for the clean animals, they brought in by 7s, and the unclean animals, they brought in by 2s. I never saw that in these Noah stories. Never saw that. When I read it, I said, oh, they knew about the law back then. When I first read it, wow, that's right. The law does go back to Adam. That's when he breathed the breath into his nostrils. Was talking about the spirit. Okay, wow. So they brought in more clean animals than unclean. It only makes sense, right? For the benefit of man, that they would need to multiply quicker after the flood, right? For our nourishment, because it was just Noah and his family at that point before we grew. But then for the unclean animals, he just said, bring them in, male and female, just 2 by 2s, but the clean ones by 7.
That's why you got to read the scripture. You can't go with every TV show that they come out with.
Exactly.
Be exact.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I always thought that too. 2 of each animal. That's what I thought. Yeah. So it's only 2 of each of the bad animals, right? Good, yeah, I agree. The good animals, clean animals.
Be careful.
Clean animals, right?
Pig isn't bad.
Oh, it's bad.
I know what you mean. You mean bad for eating. I got you. Now, like pig is wicked. No, the pig's a pig. Pig is doing what it's supposed to do. Eat the waste.
One brother said the pig had spirits in it. In the other school, he said, yeah, the pig had evil spirits in it.
Well,
That's
bad. That's bad. Well, I said, no, the spirits didn't go in it. Jesus said, go in it.
Right.
They was just regular pigs.
Yeah.
Before the spirits went in, oh, he argued me down. No, the pig has a certain spirit in it. No, he's only a pig. He do what Jesus told him to do.
Yeah,
he took over the earth. He ain't got no evil spirit in him.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Because the scripture says, you said it right. The scripture is very specific in Leviticus. It just says, these are unclean for eating.
Right. They
don't have evil spirits in them.
Yeah, they own jobs.
They just unclean. They do what they're supposed to do, clean up the filth of the earth.
And spirits can affect the physical world, physical things. They can jump on us, they're little animals.
Right.
But like once again, doesn't make the animal, oh, it's evil.
Right.
So I mean, here people say, this is what Jesus said. Are you greater than Christ? Christ said this.
Yeah. Not understanding what Christ said. See, brother, it's not what you put in your body, brother. It's not what you put in your body.
Right.
But not to make this a big lesson about dietary law. We already did that. But just, that's how they'll use this. But let's read on, see what Christ's actually talking about. Let me read it again. Matthew 15:11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, that which cometh out of the mouth, this defile a man. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? So they were offended at that because they didn't catch what he was saying, just like a lot of us don't catch what he's saying now. Oh, what? You kidding me? You can't defile yourself by putting certain things in your body? Of course. This man's speaking against the law, right? No way. But now, what is he talking about? As we read on, it's going to explain. He's talking about what? How things start with the spirit, right? Just like before you have anything that's out here, it comes out of the mind, right? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So to think about things first, you have to come up with a concept, an idea, and then from that thought, then it turns into an action, or you just kind of hang on to it until later, right? But anything you see out here that's built or designed or drawn or what have you, it started in somebody's mind somewhere, right? Now, where that inspiration came from, that's, ultimately it comes from the Most High, but it could come from different spirits and that person themselves, right? This becomes a bit more nuanced, but the whole concept, the whole point we're making here is that it starts here in the mind first before it comes into reality. When it comes to things that are made.
It comes in the mind, then it comes manifestation.
Right. We get that from the Heavenly Father, right? Because He's the ultimate creator. Because He's the one who had the thought too. The Word spoke it. And then once He spoke it back in Genesis, the angels went ahead and built the things He said, right? Build the light, separate from the darkness. They went and did it. Most High said, okay, second day, create the firmament, right? They went ahead and did that, et cetera, and so forth. They created the things that He said. It works the same with us on this level. When we write out a plan, say to start an organization or to build a house or to fix something, right? It's the same idea, same concept. Starts up here, come up with a plan, put it in a decent and a sensible order, and carry out the steps, right?
Yeah. What the Most High said, they followed through and did it, huh?
Absolutely.
Doing the creation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But sometimes you get a misunderstanding. When we know the Most High in control, He did everything, but He had to follow before. So that was the house, that was the angels. They created, right? What He said to do under His command, right?
Right. Like a nice little metaphor we always use is like, think of the Most High. He's like the commissioner for the building, right? Christ is the white hat at the top of the building with the blueprint. He's the main architect, right? That has the blueprint. And the yellow hats are around him getting instruction on, okay, how deep's the foundation? How do we build the first floor, second floor, third floor, right?
Right.
They're the actual workers doing the plan.
That's good.
Christ is supervising it. He's got resources coming from the Most High. To actually do it.
That's a good final example.
So that's the construction of the universe. Right, so let's read on in verse 13. It says, but He answered and said, He's answering His disciples now. They're like, yo, the Pharisees are like ticked off now by what you said, right? He answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. He says, look, if your seed is not of the Most High, if you're not rooted in the truth, you're going to be rooted up. Let me talk about the parable of the sower and the seed, remember? Back in Matthew 13, same idea. If your root is based on a doctrine, false doctrine, it's not going to be a matter of time before that sunshine comes, scorches you, or a storm grows up around you and you come out, or birds eat you up before you even get down. As opposed to your seed being of the Most High in truth, you'll be that seed that fell on that good ground, bears forth a whole bunch of fruit, right? Be it 100-fold, 30-fold, 60-fold, right? However much you produce. That's what He's talking about when He says, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. So link with verse 15. So link this with Matthew 15 and 15. You can go to St. John, so Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, that one. St. John chapter 15. St. John chapter 15, 3 to 5. I'm sorry, 4 and 5. Christ makes a similar comparison, comparing us to being like vegetation. St. John 15 and 4, it says, abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. Christ says in verse 5, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. Like the parable said, right? The sower and the seed. For without me, ye can do nothing. Yeah. You have to have Christ as a basis in order to grow. He has to be the root in which our hearts and minds are founded. Otherwise, like you said, we're going to be just plucked up. We're not going to have any sure root. That's St. John 15, verses 4 and 5, to link with Matthew chapter 15, verse 15. Let's go back to Matthew 15. I'll read 14 again. This is a famous verse. Matthew chapter 15, verse 14. Oh, I'm so sorry. Link John 15, 4 and 5 with Matthew 15 and 13, not 15 and 15. I think I said 13 at first, but then I changed it to 15. So Matthew 15 and 13, link that up with St. John 15, verses 4 and 5, what we just read. Matthew 15 and 13 says, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. One more link before we move on, now I think about it. We also link this with Psalms. Psalms 144. It always happens. I'll always have an idea or the kind of verses I want, and other ones will come to me. Always do the service. Psalms 144 and verse 12. Yeah. Psalms 144 and verse 12. Link that as well with Matthew 15, 13, where it says, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of a palace. Yeah. So we want to be like these righteous plants, or these polished cornerstones, right, that make up that building of the temple. That's how we want to be as the people of God, right? So you see that metaphor a lot, different places. So back now, Matthew 15 again, and I'll read 14. Okay, I know we read it before, but you can link that one too. Jeremiah chapter 17. Jeremiah chapter 17, verses 7 and 8. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7 and 8, it reads, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7. Blessed is the man who trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. Verse 8, for he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river. Shall not see when heat cometh, for her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. That's what we are. That's how we are when we are planted by the Most High. Jeremiah 17, 7 and 8. And then another one in Psalms, which you're probably familiar with this one too. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1 to 3.
Chapter 1.
Verse 1 to 3.
Chapter 1 and 2.
Down in verse 3. So Psalms chapter 1, verse 1, it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Verse 2. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Verse 3. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So same idea, right? Psalms chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. And for folks, just try to put your phones on mute or vibrate during the service. So now this is I won't pull it. Wasn't part of the original. Okay, one more, and we'll continue. So Isaiah chapter 3. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 10. Add that one too. This is going to tie into what we're about to read as we go down in Matthew 15. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 10. So Isaiah 3 and 10 reads, "Say to the righteous that it shall be well with him, that they shall eat of the fruit of their doings." They shall eat of the fruit of their doings. So keep that in mind again. The fruit of their doings. It connects to what we're reading in Matthew. So let's go back to Matthew. Matthew 15. I'll read 14 again. Christ says in Matthew chapter 15, verse 14, "Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch." Right? So how can you be a leader and lead blind yourself? Right? Just like it says this, you can link this with 15 and 14. With Matthew 15 and 14, you can link Job. Job chapter 12 and verse 16. That's right. Job chapter 12 and verse 16. Uh-oh, you got hidden books of the Old Testament? You got some deep doctrine over there? What's going on?
Job chapter 12.
You got second and third Job? What's going on? His Bible, real deep.
We still linking all this with 13?
This links with 14 now.
14. Job chapter 12.
In verse 16. 16. So Job 12 and 16 says, "With him," you read above, the him is talking about Yahweh. "With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his." See that? So the deceived and the deceiver are his. So those that deceive, they have a certain level of blindness themselves, because they don't realize the judgment is going to come upon their head, them doing it. That goes for our people, it goes for the heathen especially. So the Most High, he controls all that, right? So back to Matthew chapter 15. So that's why I don't think it's so worked up when we see, powers that be, and then, they got all types of news stories coming out. You're not really sure who to believe, and, limited information, and everyone's got their own spin on it. So it's like, oh man, I don't know, who to trust. Don't worry about that. Right here. Anything you see and hear from whatever side, you can align it with scripture, and you got something. Trust in that. We already know God is true, every man's a liar. So don't lose any sleep over that. So reading on, verse 15 now. "Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable." So Peter's like, yo, break that down. It's not what you put, it's not what goes out of your body, which it's not what you put in your body, it's what comes out. What's that mean? So now Christ is going to give the understanding, but begrudgingly. Check out verse 16. You know, like any master, any teacher, right? And Yahushua said, "Are you also yet without understanding?" Right? So he's like, "Don't you already know what I'm saying? I gotta break this one down too." Verse 17: Do not ye yet understand? Whatsoever entered in at the mouth, going into the belly, and is cast out into the drought, which is, you know, we might say like an outhouse, place where you go to relieve yourself, right? To, like it tells you in Deuteronomy, right? Ease thyself abroad. Where's what? Oh, okay. There you go. So whatsoever entered in at the mouth, going to the belly, and is cast out into the drought. So what you eat, what you put in your body, right?
Right.
He's saying, yeah, you eat that, you digest it, and then what you don't need, you let it go, right? Excrement, exactly. Waste. Verse 18. So he's not going into clean, unclean food. He's not even talking about that. Let's read on. This is understood. He's talking about lawful food that you eat. How, you know, you eat it and you know, whatever you don't need, you excrete out. 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. See that? So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about how you think and feel. And based on those thoughts and feelings, what actions come out of that. He says that defiled the man. So he's talking about spiritually being defiled. You having a seed of wickedness in you, right? Or falsehood, right? And you acting on those wicked thoughts. That's what he's talking about. That's why he says, reading on in verse 19, for out of the heart proceed evil thoughts. So you can even use this verse to show you that the heart is talking about the mind. It's not talking about necessarily this, right? It's talking about your mind, which, you know, works through your brain mainly, but, you know, through your entire body. Because the mind is, you can look at it as like a bridge between your soul and your physical body, right? It's what makes you you. It says, out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. See that? So this is the stuff that he's talking about that spiritually defiles you, right? When you think on these evil thoughts, right? That's how you be defiled. That's how your deeds become unclean, right? Like they have that expression out there. It comes from the scriptures, right? It's like you need to clean up your act, right? Comes from what we're talking about now. It's talking about, not talking about, you know, oh man, I gotta wash my hands. It's going into what? You out here doing dirt in the streets. Like they even call the money gotten by ill means, they call it filthy lucre in the scriptures. Or they call it today, call it dirty money, right? That's dirty money. I want that dirty money in here, right? Get that dirty money, that drug money, get it out of here, right? Or, you know, get that hot stuff out of here. Like, you go to a barber shop and you got, you know, somebody comes in with, you know, some stuff. I still remember my old barber back in the day. He got hot at this one brother. He came with some, I don't know where he got the stereo, but the head barber, he was an older gentleman who owned a barber shop. He said, you get that hot stuff out of my shop. Ooh, you never see them get mad because he's just the kindest old man, you know. He got hot with that brother that day. I said, ooh. The elders are speaking.
I take it.
Yeah, exactly. So sad. So sad. You know, like, hey, finders keepers, losers weepers. I don't care.
I take anything.
I try to make some money.
TV. I'm not giving you a haircut.
You got me thinking about that movie when it was Coming to America, where they robbed their suitcases when they first got there. You see the guy open up his coat.
Yeah, had all gold.
Like, I wonder where he got this from. Oh boy. What are an impoverished people to do, right? Impoverished spiritually and physically. So, to finish up this verse, right? I'll read 20 again. It says, these are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not the man. That last precept, that's what you want to use to cut the person that's saying, oh, it's talking about you can eat unclean meat and it's no problem. Whoever just dialed in, please do a *6 as we're getting the echo. Unless you have a question or a comment, Dewada. So when he says eat with unwashed hands, that's what defiles a man. That's the subject matter here. Because remember, back at the beginning of this chapter, in verse 2, they asked him the question, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. So Christ took it a level deeper and said, no, that's not what defiles you. It's not about you washing hands and eating, which to them, they all of them were talking about lawful food. They weren't talking about pig and swine, swine and camel and anything else is unlawful. That wasn't even part of the discussion here. He's talking about their vain tradition of washing their hands before they eat food, that being something that defiles them. So that wasn't even part of the discussion here. They already understood that. Both of them, Christ and the Pharisees, knew what they weren't even talking about pork, shrimp, lobster, crabs. That's what you always want to hone in on that. And in verse 20, it says, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. That's what they're talking about. Not, oh, whatever animal God made, he blessed for me to eat as long as I pray over it. No. And wrong, incorrect. That's not it. Khan, Shalom.
I think I'm going to link up for verse 19 and 20 in Matthew 15.
All right, let's hear it.
If I'm not mistaken, Matthew 12:35.
Matthew
12:35 of Matthews. All right, do you want to read that, bro?
Matthew 12:35.
Matthew 12:35. Links with 19 and 20 in verse 15.
Okay.
I mean, chapter 15 of Matthew,
Right.
verse 35 in Matthew 12:35. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasures bringeth forth evil things.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Because going into like Christ said here too, the way you think, that's how you are. And that's why Christ, he even makes that point about, if you just think about sin, it's as if you sin. I'm not saying it's the same judgment, but if you constantly have a thought that is evil, even though it's wrong, but it feels good to think about it, right? It's like it becomes a part of you, even if you haven't acted on it. That thing hangs on. So Christ, is high tech when he talks about, thought police, even back then. 12:35. You could also go out for that link, brother. You could also link this in Proverbs. This is in Proverbs as well. With oh, that sounds good. Let's hear that too. I have a different one. Whatever one you just quoted, that sounds good. Proverbs 20. Right here it is. Proverbs 23:7. Proverbs 23:7. It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee." Right? And above is talking about a man with an evil eye, but the verse 7, the first part, what we want. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? So you are what you think, because it becomes what you do in the end. Right? And oftentimes, it may not go that far, because Esau, he'll just fantasy, you're just escaping into fantasy. As long as you don't act on it, it's no problem. But you still defile yourself, and that thought hangs on, and hangs on for an extended period of time, because it's only a matter of time before it'll lead you to do that. And you see with the future, Esau and his technology and his virtual reality, and these robots that he's making, or we'll call them robots for companionship. I'll just keep it PG, companionship. These are heavy things to where people are going to be duped into thinking, hey, I'm not out here, running these streets. I got a robot at home to satisfy me, satisfy my needs. Yeah. So they let you, do that wickedness in your mind, right? Or you're doing it with a robot, and it's like, hey, what's the problem? What's the issue? This is my property, right? I can do what I want with my property. All the spiritual. What's that?
Yeah, they got out here in McDonald's now. They changed the McDonald's from McDonald's to like they saying they got all different managers of women that own McDonald's. They changed made it up. They said that then they got robots. They got one robot machine. I know where it's at. It's an experiment trying the robot machine to put the burgers and stuff on the grill. You see that? Or you hear about it?
Not about for McDonald's, but for other stuff. I've seen stories about robots doing other things, but not working fast food.
They got one in an experiment.
It makes sense though, because anything.
One in the experiment, what they trying to do is set up a lot of robot machines to disregard people of working conditions.
Right, because anything anything that can be like automated, anything that's like repeatable, they want to hand it off to robots. But like industries that require more of a human touch, like healthcare, education, they said those are the types of fields that will still retain, people, and that, they still will be quote unquote valuable in those types of industries, right? But as far as like factories, because a lot of the fast food joints, they're pretty much like a factory. A lot of the processes are just repeated over and over again. So
They're trying to get robots to do work now.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it. Because with a robot, you have to worry about sick leave, right? Go on vacation. I gotta pick up my kids, right? Robot just reports.
Yeah.
That's why you like us in prison. That's why corporations capitalize off of prison labor too.
You got the labor stuff on the machine. So they push the button and the robot tells you what they tell me to do.
Okay. But let's continue on in the service. Yes, indeed. So Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 now. We're in the next section. So we're all clear there, right? As far as when Christ is talking about what comes out of a man, not what goes in. So next week, if you got someone in your family or friends, they bring that to you. Now you know what to say. Right? Go right in on verse 20 at the end. See, look, it's talking about eating with unwashed hands. That was something the Pharisees had as a tradition. That's what Christ was talking about. He wasn't talking about unclean food. Whether they have eyes to see, ears to hear, or heart to understand it, still edify. Then see if they just can't see it, or if they can see it and they just rebel. Now you're getting somewhere. At least now they've been warned. Okay, so Matthew 15, 21. Then Yahushua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon, on a coast. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, right? So this is the same as in Mark, right? The Syrophoenician woman by a nation, right? And said, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. So acknowledging that he came from the house of David based on the prophecy. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil, right? So when you read this story, you can link this with Mark. Well, I'll get the link after we read the whole thing. But she's a woman who's not of the nation of Israel, right? She's a heathen. She's of a heathen nationality. But she's still asking that what? Christ have mercy on her and have mercy on her for her daughter's sake, right? Who's vexed with the devil. But now check out the response. It says in verse 23, but he answered her not a word. So he didn't answer her. That's not very nice. Right? We talk about what would Jesus do. Why didn't he answer her? What's going on here? And his disciples came and besought him, saying, "Send her away, for she cried after us." Now, disciples are going to Christ saying, "Yeah, she's bugging us now. Can you send her away?" Right? Why is she asking us for help? Because you read the gospel, we may not see this growing up or in the movies. He's going out to his people. We read this already in Matthew 10, remember? Go not into the way of the Gentiles, or into any city of the Samaritan, enter ye not, but go rather unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Remember? Matthew 10, 5 and 6. We already read that some chapters ago. So she's outside of that. That's why they're saying, why should she come after us? But let's still see what happens. This is important too. Verse 24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he makes it very clear. So once again, you can link this up. Link up Matthew 15:24, that verse in particular, because link it with Matthew 10, 5 and 6. Right, which is what we just talked about. Go not into the way of the Gentiles, into any city of the Samaritan, enter ye not, go rather into the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? So he's still in that same program. He hasn't deviated. That's who his focus is. 25. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. Right? So she knows who he is, but that she's still coming to him, saying, Lord, help me. And says that she worshipped him. You see worship, only time you see worship as far as righteousness, it's either of the Most High or of Christ. No one else. So she knows who he is. Right? Just like today, you got other nations that know who we are, who we represent. Right? They come to the camp, right? They want to be down, right? They make videos, right? We see on YouTube they make videos talking about, I'm a Gentile, and we have to be nice to those African Americans. That's not who they are. They're the real Jews. What they teach is true. I've done the research. Check out this. People believe them more than us. So we push that. We go, look, Jeremiah 16:19, prophecy. They're acknowledging that their fathers have inherited lies. You don't believe us? Cool. Believe him. Believe her. Right? So you had that now, you had that then. Remember earlier on in Matthew chapter 8 with the centurion, right? He was a stranger, but he believed, right? And then Christ used that as a way to say shame Israel, but just to get Israel on point to say, look at this, I've not found so great a faith, not in Israel, saying this man's not even of a nation. Look how much faith that he has, the centurion man. Mm-hmm. And he's a man of authority, Like today, he would have been like military or police, something like that. But now he's coming to Christ, the carpenter, part of the Judean province, who were the slaves to Romans, right? As far as they see it, he's acknowledging this man as like King of Kings, right? So it's like you would think, how is this centurion acknowledging Christ? He would be under Caesar, right? As far as his government structure, and now he still acknowledged Christ's authority, even beyond all the authority he was given from Caesar. So consider these things. She's along those same lines. But she's still asking for help. Verse 26. But he answered and said, it is not meet, or it is not right, to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Oh boy. Oh no. Is that red letters? Did Christ just say that? Did he just call her a dog? I've actually seen different articles that so-called Christians, they actually go into this. They actually read this and they try to, figure out, what he meant by it. Sometimes they actually come to a sound conclusion. I don't think I've seen that though, but I got to see I bookmarked it a while ago, but but they examine this verse and try to make sense of.
Yeah, he really called her, huh?
Exactly.
We got to find some other meaning for that word. He didn't call her.
It's a mistranslation from the Greek, it's something,
I have that argument with Jehovah's Witnesses all the time. I said, no, it says dog. No, he didn't really call a woman a dog.
Right.
No, it was another way to describe dog. I said, no, because, the simple fact that not only did he call her a dog, he actually gave you a description saying that the woman that you said, she called herself a dog.
Right.
She said the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the top. language. She called us.
We didn't get there yet.
Oh,
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
I'm sorry.
Verse 27.
Maybe go to the New James or the NIV.
Right, right.
Yo, you know what? We should do that. Just like we do for color scriptures. Because, you know, like, what was it, Job? My skin is black upon me. NIV, my skin is falling off of me. Totally different in the Hebrew. Falling off and black, no. Not even close. But, yeah. But now, verse 27, that's what Gabar is talking about.
God, Nabia.
Yes.
For verse 24, what did you have?
Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 and 6.
10, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
10, 5, and 6. Okay, Nabia, sometimes when you're online, or being that this thing is with YouTube, when you're online, it skips.
Gotcha.
So you miss, sometimes whoever listens online miss what you're saying. So you have to repeat it again, make sure.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, brother. So I'll repeat it 2 or 3 times for the live feed. The water.
The water, that nothing, that nada.
De nada.
NIV said those.
Dog mean dog.
So now let's read 27, but then let's go back to the scriptures, because so oftentimes Christ was saying do things that we have to go and learn what it meant. If we read the law, it would make sense to us, but oftentimes we read things and we're like, what did Christ just say or do? It's due to our lack of understanding. Let's read 27 and I'll show you what I mean. Yeah. Verse 27, it says, and she said, truth, Lord. So she didn't buck up and say, who are you calling a dog? Truth, Lord.
I dare you say something like that.
Truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Now we just went into what was it, the rich man and Lazarus parable, right? We saw that same dynamic, but in reverse, right? Lazarus was the one eating from the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table, right? But now she's saying, even the dogs, referring to herself and those like her, eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. So let's go back to the law, right? Let's go to 2 verses in particular. So you can link these with 26 and 27. This where the law is interesting because everything in there isn't necessarily explicit. But when you weigh the laws together, you can come to new conclusions or deeper understanding. Well, I'm going to get the first one now. The first one is in Exodus. So Exodus chapter 22. Exodus 22 and 31. Write this one down first. So Exodus chapter 22 and 31, which this section of the Bible is like going into sundry or diverse laws about different things, right? This book deals with, this chapter deals a lot with restitution, but there's other things in here too. Like if you damage your neighbor's goods, how are you supposed to restore them? So Exodus 22 and 31, it says, ye shall be holy men unto me. That's a commandment, be holy, right? Even Christ said this, right? Be ye holy, even as your Father in heaven is holy. But now the second part says, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. Yeah. So in other words, when it comes of animals that we eat, it's supposed to be one that's killed by our own hands, right? That was alive, and then we killed it. It shouldn't just be something that got killed by some other predator, right? It's just left out there in the open. It says you're not supposed to partake or eat of those meats. Give that to the dogs, right?
Now, what kind of dog were they talking about?
Actual dogs.
Regular dogs.
Yeah.
Not human dogs.
I think it might be calabium or something. I think that's the Hebrew.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more than one word for. I think there's more than one word for dog, right? But now with this, let's go to Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy chapter 15. Oh, wait a minute. This is the one dealing with the year of release.
15 running, right?
Yeah.
Come on, the lobby's called, right?
Collab. Hold on one second. This is one dealing with the stranger, but this isn't the one I want. Let me look up the other one. Hold on. Dieth of itself.
Well, 21:15. That's what you're looking for? That's what you're looking for?
Oh, say it again, brother.
Deuteronomy 14:21, looking for that?
Yeah, I'm right here, but I don't see it for some reason.
14:21.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The what? I'm on the page. I can't see it. I'm thinking I got the wrong
I
thing.
love that.
Oops. The what? So Deuteronomy, the what? 14 and 21 to link with Exodus 21, 22, and 31, right?
What was that?
Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 21.
About 15.
What to other priests to your right?
13.
Son of the right hand.
I have a picture on that.
So Deuteronomy 14 and 20, which is where I say you read the law, things aren't always necessarily explicit. Sometimes things are implied when you read it together. I call 15.
14?
It's actually 14. Yeah, the previous chapter.
14 what?
21.
Okay.
So Deuteronomy 14 and 21, it reads, "You should not eat of anything that dieth of itself." Same concept. "Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is within thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk." They're just going into making sure that a goat is of the first year. It has to be a certain age. You can't have veal. You can't eat young, a young kid or a young lamb. It has to be of a year. But the main part we want is the top part, those precepts. You should not eat of anything that died of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger. So in one law it says anything that died of itself you give to the dogs. Another one says you can give it to the stranger. So do we see a connection here as far as Christ saying taking the children's bread and casting it to dogs, since both dogs and strangers can partake of things that died of themselves? It's kind of an indirect reference, so to speak, like the way when you understand the law, your words, the prophets will word things a certain way, where if you understand the law and how it connects, you'll get it. You'll go, oh, okay, I connect the dots there, even though it's not literally saying that,
Even now, some of the chickens and certain things, a chicken there, one died, save it up, cut them up, sell it to the nigga.
Right.
We don't know what, we don't know what we're eating.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to the majority of us not going to the slaughterhouse. Okay, give me that chicken, give me that goat or whatever, so and so. But they eating the good stuff, but we eating whatever, chicken nuggets and all that stuff. We know what we eat. The chicken shack up the road.
Right.
They get chicken. You know,
Right.
It's been frozen coming from California,
Mm-hmm.
out of the country, so on so forth.
Right.
Sell it to the niggas. They'll eat it.
Yeah.
When
That goes
he got a dollar in his pocket, he'll buy it.
right. That goes back to antebellum slavery, right? Where we even turn the scraps into a delicacy, right? We said, okay, we get the intestines of the pig. We know a pig is unclean anyway. We got the intestines of the pig and then turned it into chitterlings, or as many say, chitlins, right? We turned the defiled, casting offs, the stuff that they didn't want to eat, and cleaned them out and prepared them, figure out a way to, dress them up. But I don't know about you guys. Even when I was in the world, couldn't do those. Anytime I came to my grandpa's house, and that smell, I'm like, oh no, they're in the kitchen cooking chitlins. Oh goodness, please Lord, help me. But yeah, that's what happens because of that, right? You're given the scraps. You gotta take a lemon, make lemonade. When life throws you lemons, make lemonade, right? But we see that connection there, right? As far as the things that died of themselves. Who can eat that? Who is permissible for them to eat? And it's not really strange because you read in the law, it talks about how anytime we don't walk upright, we're like beasts. It tells you that in Ecclesiastes, right? That he considered the estate of the sons of men and saw that they were indeed beasts. Because when you go against the law, you might as well be like an animal, right? Because that's what sets us apart, right? The law of the Most High. That's what really makes a man, makes a woman. That's why out here you have a lot of black male and females, not Israelite and Israelitesses, Israelite men, Israelitesses, Israelite women. You don't have that, right? As far as our behavior, how we conduct ourselves. And what do we say? We say, yeah, I put food on my table. I take care of my kids, right? Women might do the same. It's like, okay, the animal kingdom does the same thing. Okay, that's good. But now there's something more to being a man and woman than just on the visceral survival level. Because we've been in survival react mode for so long. It's like that's all we know. That's sad, We don't have the resources or the time to really sit down and really make long-term plans for our own family, right? In a lot of cases, but the nations do because, they're using our time working for them so that they can go and make plans for whatever they got going on. All the while we're either giving them our time or giving them our money to build them up. That goes for all the tribes. Yalkanan and then Pathak.
Yeah, because they just say, like in the jungle, the lion gets his share. He kills and he eats. And then later on, the hyenas, they come and they eat the rest of that. And then after it's rotten, then the vultures, they eat that. So everybody eats. So.
Yeah, how about that?
So if you say that animal out there, take them, clean them up, don't let it go to waste. Cut them up, clean them up, and sell it to them. And let them eat.
Yeah. Hey, that's what the Most High said. But like I said, people who don't understand the Most High's judgment, they may hear something like this and go, "Oh, this is so horrible." You become just like the oppressor. You become the tyrant just like them. It's like, no, you read the law, you actually have laws dealing with manservants, maidservants, laws even dealing with slaves, how to deal with slaves, to where there's even laws going into if your servant or slave loved thee and wants to be with thee, like if it's your own brother, the law is there for a reason. There will be scenarios where the person wants to be with that master continually. They love working for them. And while they can go free after 7 years, right? If they are, like where they're working at for another brother or sister who, say, owns a plot of land or has whatever, it goes into laws dealing with that. And it says that they love their master, right? So how can someone love servitude, right? Depends on who you work for, right?
Right. You get fringe benefits.
Right. It depends on how you're treated as you are in the person's estate or household or company, right? Because today, they don't say masters and slaves, they say bosses and employees. But the relationship pretty much is the same, right? What do we say? We say, oh, so-and-so, I love her as a manager. Oh my goodness. she leaves the company, I'm going wherever she's going. Once somebody new comes in, it's like, oh boy, they gotta make a name for themselves, and they gotta, we gotta start all over again. Kind of like with Joseph, right? You had the Pharaoh that was cool with Joseph and with the Hebrews. Then a new Pharaoh came in and didn't know Joseph. And this new Pharaoh is like changing up stuff, Now all of a sudden there's like all these, they want to be, nitpicking at different laws and statutes. It's like the previous Pharaoh had no issue with us doing this. Now all of a sudden you got issue with whatever, right? So there's such a thing as, loving to serve. And we as a people should love to serve the Most High, who's King in heaven. But why not have the same on earth, right? We actually love your people who are in power, right? Where there's no, stressful arguments over, gun control because you're worried about, your government, shooting you where you stand, cutting off your food supply, right? That's what you have with wicked rulership. But then Esau wants to use his horrible example and say, see, we should abolish slavery everywhere. It's like, yeah, it's easy for you to say that now that you didn't capitalize off the slavery of all dark nations, namely, especially Israel. Easy for you to come out now and say violence isn't the way. Get back everything that you got from it. If slavery isn't the way, and they get real quiet.
Yeah, even in the movie, Django Unchained, he loved his master.
Samuel Jackson.
What that nigga doing on that net? That part still gets me when he sees JB on the horse. What's that nigga doing on that net? What's he doing up there?
Bad position though. He was in the big house.
Yeah.
He wore nice clothes. He probably ate good.
Yeah.
He drank with the
He was the housemaker.
He was doing the accounting for the boss. He was counting the money and doing the reading and everything for
He was
him.
the housemaker.
Highly trusted.
Yeah.
That's why he pulled him to the side, right? When he saw what was going on, he's like,
Yeah, he even
they know each other.
Yeah, he was a lot. I said, no, don't do that.
So when you flip it in righteousness, we have us on top, and you got heathen working for us. You look at David, right? Our golden age, right? David going into Solomon, right? Was like, in history, that was like our best moment as a nation, right? As far as power and influence. You look at his mighty men, his 30 mighties. It was mostly Israel, but you had heathen up in there. Even Uriah the Hittite, right? He was one of his 30 mightiest. And he was loyal to David, right? Even Saul before him. Remember, he had that guy Doeg, who was an Edomite working for him. Now he was vile. He did the worst was Saul commanded. Remember, the other brothers under Saul, they wouldn't kill the priests. Even they knew, like, we can't kill the priests in the Most High. He was like, you, Doeg, fall on these guys. He followed orders. That was a heathen under our command. So just reverse the mouth. But it's hard for us to really understand that because we're just not used to it. We haven't seen that. Right. Once we get power, we're just like, I got it. We're not used to nothing. Right? We're not used to, actually having justice. Right? Because we're so used to being mishandled. And the minute we get power, we want to emulate the oppressor when he has power. That's all we know. We don't see, here's a way to get power, but then to govern according to righteousness. There's an example here. Right? That's supposed to set us apart. That's going to show forth a kingdom that will never fall. Right? Which to many is a fantasy. That can't exist. Right? Empires rise and fall. Everybody, decides what they want to make the rules, what God to serve. Everybody has their time in the sun. Right? That's what history, common historians say today. But as far as the event or the possibility of a nation continuously, that can never happen. Someone else will rise up and take them over. Not so. They'll see it though. It's coming. So let's go back to Matthew. Matthew chapter 15. Let's finish this this exchange between Christ and the Syrophoenician woman or the woman of Canaan. One gospel says one thing, other gospel says the other, but it doesn't contradict. It's just talking about the region. Yes. I'll read 26 and 27 again. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So even the wording is there in the law if you just know how to look, how to read it, and where to go. So Matthew chapter 15 and verse 26, it says, "But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs." 27, and she said, "Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table." Right? You see, masters, right? So she's acknowledging Christ and his people as the people of God, as the master. 28, then Yahushua answered and said unto her, "O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee as thou wilt." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Now, what people do when they read this, they go, "Oh, see, salvation is for everybody. He healed her," because when we go into it, they can't argue with it when we go through a step by step that she was of a nation that wasn't Israel. But their last chance, these so-called Christians, or people that think in this manner that Christ came for everybody, they'll try to hold on to this verse 28, try to sink their claws into it and say, "See, look, he healed her daughter of the devil. He healed her of the devil," which means, yes, he'll save any and everybody that believes. No, that's not what's happening. The law tells us very clearly, right? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? There's going to come a time where the heathen love to serve us because they know that we're going to rule them justly. This is, after, they get their punishment for the horrible things they've done to us and to themselves. But there's going to come a time where they're going to love to serve us because we're going to rule them according to righteousness, right? As our property. And not going to abuse your property, right? Just like Esau has, this affinity for his pets, right? Even more than us, right? He won't harm his pets. He won't abuse them, right? He'll give them the nice little treats and, give them little hair clippings and cut their nails, right? And take them on walks, right? And all that. We're going to deal righteously with our heathen. It tells you in the law that what? We're going to inherit them and their children perpetually, right? As part of our inheritance. We have the land, of course, but we're going to own them. That relationship is still in effect. It's just the curse is in the forefront because we're not obedient. That's why when we begin to come back into the spirit, now we see what brothers and sisters they got. Heathen that out of nowhere they're like, "Oh, how you doing?" It's that the 30 kind of like, okay. "Oh, can I get this for you? Can I get that for you?" It's just a taste of what the Most High has already promised us. But we're ashamed of that, right? Oh, don't bow to me. Don't serve me. I don't deserve that because we still deal with that negative self-image. We still see ourselves as dogs in our mind. When we realize our beautiful chocolate skin and our kinky hair is royal. It's Christ's hair. It's Christ's skin. It's the Most High's hair. It's the Most High skin. Like the pure wool, burnished brass burned in a furnace. But because images are so powerful, and the image of who is so powerful, the image of the beast, we get nose jobs and facial reconstruction and skin bleaching, still. Even in 2018, still doing.
Yeah, we're not gonna work them like 7 days a week. 4 days a week like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You get off the Sabbath.
Con, absolutely. Let's get that law. You can link it with verse 28, and then we'll continue on. We want to spend too much time. I think we covered the point. Oh, you need me to repeat it? A verse?
Yeah, but what is it? For verse 26 or 27, the verse that we quoted last time?
For both.
26 and 27?
Yeah, you want to link Exodus 22:31?
I got that.
Deuteronomy 14 and 21.
Got it. All right, the water.
And the bar. But now for link with Matthew 15 and 28, 2 verses. First one is in Proverbs. These are just the verses I referred to. I'll read them real quick, and then we'll continue. 29. Yeah. In verse 2. It says in Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's everybody. Israel, of course, but even the heathen will rejoice. There'll come a time when even Esau rejoiced before the utterly, destroyed in the end. We might have them hunt venison for us, right? We want some of your venison, Esau. Do your thing before we wipe you out. And now let's also go to Leviticus. I'm speculating. I don't know. I mean, we're not here in the kingdom. I'm just based off what I do know. So Leviticus, Leviticus 25. Leviticus 25, 39 down to 46.
39 down to 46.
This is pretty straightforward. This is what I was talking about. That God be true, every man a liar, including myself. Leviticus 25, verse 39, it says, and if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant. Going to how you deal with one another. Like in slavery times, Esau will say, yeah, I was in slavery too. We would say, yeah, but you were a quote unquote indentured servant, like certain whites, right? And they worked for what, maybe 7 years, and they got to go free. Interesting. Sounds very much like the law and how we deal with each other, working for each other. That we give our brother or sister liberty to go free after 7 years, if they so choose. Exactly. Let's read on, because it's a complete reversal of we're supposed to do with them. Say it again. You could say around 2020, it'll be about 400 years starting from 1620, as far as when the bulk of slaves were brought to North America. If you go to the Caribbean, it's a little bit earlier. So think, what was it? Christopher Colon, he touched down in Barbados first. Want to be technical. Anyway, Leviticus 25, I'll read 39 again. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant. Verse 40. But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee, right? Which is like a grand year of release. Because we did it every 7 years. But after 7 years, 7 times 7 years, 49 years, that 50th year, we had a Jubilee. Similar to when we had the Feast of First Fruits, we count 7 Sabbaths. Our celebration is our law, where debts were released. Folks that you work for, they could go free, if they so choose. It was like a grand year of release to happen every 50 years. No, this is our law, our government. It isn't slavery anymore. I'm talking about how we're supposed to rule the other nations and rule ourselves. Verse 41, and then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, right? So it even talks about, your manservant, maidservant, finding husbands and wives for them while they're under your care, and the laws that deal with that. That's back in Exodus 21. But anyway, it says, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. So over that time, the idea is that, he's accumulated some wealth. He saved a little bit of what you paid him or her over the years. And then whatever tribe that brother or sister is from, they can go back to that inheritance, whatever their father is, right? He's of the same tribe, but in a different region, or of a different tribe in another region, right? Verse 42, for they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They should not be sold as bondmen. So Most High is like, look, you guys, all of you are my servants, right? So don't deal harshly with you. Don't deal harshly with your brother or sister, because I'm not dealing harshly with you as my people. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Verse 43, thou shalt not rule over them with rigor, but shalt fear thy power. Now here's the key, verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. In them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, the stranger here talking about other nations, Gentiles, and of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, and they shall be your possession. See that? So when we read Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, right? That shouldn't be anything strange. That was always in the law from the beginning. 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession, meaning you own them. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, shall ye not rule one over another with rigor. So this is the law. If that second covenant says he's going to write the law on our inward parts, right? This is part of it right here. And clearly, Christ and this woman are on the same page. That's why it worked out so nicely. But most folks, when they read this, like I said, they're dealing with the lies they were taught in Sunday school, right? By so-called Christianity, doesn't follow Christ. And they have to come up with all these different other types of answers when the answer's already there. It's very clear. But someone who has eyes to see, ears to hear, heart to understand what the relationship is. So Christ is not a tyrant, right? He's not just going to beat the heathen just for sport, right? That makes you a beast of a man or a woman, right? That makes you an animal. How are you going to rule over the Most High's creation like that as a tyrant? We're better than that. That's why, brothers, we have, these conversations, brothers, different camps. They're like, yeah, I can't wait to do this to these heat. I can't wait to do that, I'm like, I hear that, but I'm like, I want to put them to work. Yeah, well, I want to judge them, but I want to put them to work, get them with skills and stuff so they can build up the nation. I want them doing constructive stuff after they get that judgment. Let's think a little longer term. As opposed to, just, yeah, I can't wait to put my foot in these crackers, Can't wait to kill these crackers and these, these gooks and this, that, and the third. Like, don't drop down to Esau's level. I know he's still our daddy in a lot of our minds, but we have to reestablish what rulership is based on this, because we still got the slavery in our mind. We still got that model of rule in our mind. Ruled by fear, intimidation, ruled by white supremacy. That's still in our mind. So that's not how we rule. But anyway, let's continue on back in Matthew 15. Let's read on in verse 29.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, so not focusing like what we're gonna do to them, so on and so forth. Focusing on try to be part of the 1/3.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even say that. I'm like talking from the kingdom onward, but before the kingdom, are we even fit to rule? Are we even fit to make the team? Right? We use the football parable, right? Do the tryouts for cheerleader squad, football team. They post a list. Everybody's all anxious, right? Look on the list. Oh, I made JV. Yes. Oh, I made varsity. Yeah. Right? We want to make the team. We want to be on Christ's team. We don't want to be cut. You definitely don't want to be cut from the team.
Want to be a gatekeeper or doorkeeper?
Yeah, you at least want to make JV. Shoot. So yeah, and that begins with us here and now, how we deal with each other, how we build up our different branches of Christ throughout the Americas. Right? This is our testing ground now to see if we're fit to rule the earth with Christ. And beyond.
That's our test.
Exactly.
Too long to make it right.
Come. Oh yeah. Now, yeah. Don't get that twisted. They have to get their judgment. It's none of that stuff. I see a lot of it in these movies. They keep doing this whole thing where we get the upper hand, and then we show a kinder side to Esau, right? They sell that image a lot, but it's like, no, not all the time. Mercy is reserved for some, not for all.
You gotta get there.
Don't get that twisted.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Don't get that twisted. That's that.
Merciful.
Yeah, right. So it says in verse 29, and Jesus departed from thence and came nigh to the Sea of Galilee, and went up into a mountain and sat down there. And great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Yahweh's feet, and he healed them. Right? So remember, Christ, he's even showing forth his example, by his example, how the kingdom is going to be right here and now in this gospel. Right? It's about judgment, justice, yes, but the kingdom is ultimately about healing, right? If we know of healing, you know, if a disease has gotten so far, you got to cut part of it out, right? You got to, you know, extract the malady, right? And then from there, you can restore the body, right? So the judgment has to come. And after that, that's when, you know, the healing can begin. People can really, truly learn what it means to live. Right now, they got no idea what it means to live.
I want to read a verse, Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. And it says,
oh, what's the, sorry.
God,
oh, 1 second. Going kind of fast. What's this link with, brother? What's this connect with as far as what we're reading?
What you were saying in forms of judgment.
Oh, okay.
What?
30 and at verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put these curses upon the enemies and them that hate thee, and will prosecute thee. Persecute.
All right, thank you, brother. So Deuteronomy 30 and 7 is doesn't link up with any verse, but just write down Deuteronomy 30 and 7 as a link for just what we're discussing now, as far as Christ and his exchange with this strange woman, and how it's supposed to teach us on how we're supposed to go about ruling. And yeah, it's going to be reversed for those that don't want to follow the Most High's law. We put on them. Like we said earlier, everyone's supposed to be following the law. They're not, because we're not following the law and then being that example for them to lead on. Because when they left to themselves, they just follow idols, right? Stuff either made by the Heavenly Father's hands or by their own. So I'll read 30 again, Matthew 15:30. And great multitudes came unto him, having with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Yahweh's feet, and he healed them, insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, and the maimed to be whole, and the lame to walk, and the blind to see, and they glorified the God of Israel. Oh, wait a minute. That's the New Testament. God of Israel. Oh, okay. He's the God of everybody. Verse 32. Then Yahushua called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. And when his disciples said unto him, when should we have so much bread in the wilderness as to fill so great a multitude? Then Yahushua said unto them, how many loaves ye have? And they said, 7, and a few little fishes. He commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves and the fishes. Remember, before it was 5 loaves, right? 2 fish. 7 loaves and the fishes, doesn't really give the number, some. And gave thanks and brake them, and gave to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled, and they took up of the broken meat that was left 7 baskets full. So he did this miracle twice. Check that out. On 2 different occasions. Right? He fed the multitude before, and he's feeding this other multitude here. right? So this is rulership, right? There's no other man we could ask to rule this planet but Jesus Christ. He's the one. There's no one else to go to. There's no one else that can even begin to qualify like he does. Say he's dealing with the people, right? A compassionate ruler, a ruler that has mercy. Not these vile clowns we see, like musical chairs over these countries now. A lot of them puppets, strings being pulled, but a real governor, a real ruler. That is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. That's who he is. Let me read 37 again. And they did all eat and were filled, and they took up of the broken meat that was left 7 baskets full. And they that did eat were 4,000 men, besides women and children. So you got over 5,000, they have over 4,000 during this time. See that? So this miracle of taking a small amount and then multiplying it to feed thousands, he did it on 2 different occasions. That's something. It says, and he sent away the multitude and took ship and came to the coast of Magdala. So the journey continues. Right, after he fed them. So remember, they were around Tyre and Zidon. They were along the coast. So he took a ship, probably went by water, and then came down to a different spot. Half of Israel was on the water, right? Yeah, I think at this point, you look at the map, Tyre and Zidon, it's like in the northern region. You look above, like Zebulon's lands around there. When you look at the old plots of land where the tribes are, where they're situated in the land of Canaan, which became the land of Israel afterwards. Okay, so Christ busy in his ministry, right? Building up the nation, healing the nation, making us stronger, right? And this work continues on to this very day, right? I always say we are Acts 29 in these last days, these last couple decades, right? We pretty much pick up where the apostles left off. All different churches out there doing the work. There are books being written about us right now, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Since we've come back into this truth, right? All right, so we've come to the end of the service for today. What's our reading for next week? We know we're going to go to the Apocrypha because the pattern is what? Old Testament, New Testament, Apocrypha, right? I'm going to say. So next week, Sabbath reading is going to be 2 Maccabees. Since we read 7 and 8 last time, it's going to be 9 and 10. So 2 Maccabees 9 and 10 is going to be our reading for today. For next Sabbath.
Say it again.
2 Maccabees 9 and 10. Lights on the outside. Lights on the outside. The lights on the outside. Okay. Right there. Sorry. So 2 Maccabees 9 and 10 is going to be our reading for next week. And brother mentioned it correctly, right? So a week from today is going to be the new moon, Friday at sundown. That's going to be the new moon in the new year.
Next Friday, right?
And you count 2 Sabbaths from that will be the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread or the Passover. As far as I know, we're going to have it in Jersey again, but I just need to confirm with the elder and the bishop. But we'll definitely communicate that in the upcoming week. Remember, and we haven't been talking about it since the days of Purim. Just remember that the Passover dues each year are $200 per family, right? And if you can't make $200, just whatever you can provide. Make sure that we have, the resource necessary to purchase the lamb, along with the bitter herbs, right? And the fruits and vegetables and the Seder meal that we put together for the Passover specifically doesn't have any leaven. So make sure you get that in, whether you submit it online or send a money order, however you do it. You can do it through the PayPal online too, and just put the reason for, the donations, put it as Passover. All right, so new moon, next Friday sundown, Second Maccabees 9 and 10, and then 2 weeks after that, be the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So, all on Saturdays. We have some high holy Saturdays coming up. 2 weeks from next week. Look on the calendar, brother. Come on, man. Okay. So March 30th at Sunday. You look on the calendar. Just look on the calendar and just count next Friday, and then count 2 Fridays after that. I thought that would have been obvious, but okay. All right, so we're going to say a short Shabbat. Hope everybody was edified by our lesson today, going into the continuation of the Gospels and the great work that Christ was committed to during his ministry to establish a foundation for the kingdom during his first coming. Hopefully we can meditate and gain from the things that he said and did, and use that to better ourselves in these times as we prepare for his second coming, which cometh quickly. We'll say a Shar Shabbat once again. Happy Sabbath. Be blessed in the Most High. In the name of Christ, with the Holy Spirit. Now we'll do the closing prayers. Someone get the blinds, please.
Oh, yeah.
Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashimi Hawashai, Asheran, Tananawa, Parya Agapan, Tuara Aman. La Yahweh, Ba'ashimi Hawashai, Af, Yasher Allah. English translation: Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, with Israel. I'm Madwa, Panway Roshlam, stand and face Jerusalem. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Babakushai, Shemad, Lanawa, Aitha, Yamyan, Aitha, Shalak, Ma'aka Allah, Waha Allahayim, Tazwadakim, La, Shema Ayel, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Wa Chazayak, Banya, Yasha'Allah, Washalak, Lanawa, Rabium, Kakama, Rabium, Da'if, Rabium, Bayanad, Rabium, Sabalanwa, Rabium, Amawan, Rabium, Aqua, Rabium, Ahabium, Rabium, Haganah, Rachanaya, Wasalak, Ko, Katayanawa, La Akim, Wa Akiwa, Wayasha'Allah, Thamyad, Waiwalam, Ba'ashem, Yahawashai, Thawada, Aman. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please listen to us now. Right now, send Michael and the righteous powers to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel. And send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive all our sins. For the brothers, sisters in Israel, always and forever, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Nawa, Wayasha'Allah, Wabat Yasapariam, Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Nawa, Yahweh. English translation, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us in Israel in the house of books, or the school. And we said, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. So Shalom Yasharallah, Shah Shabbat. Have a blessed rest of the Sabbath.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Okay. So men circle up. You want to be seated? Heard that? Men, women. Not males and females. Difference. Just saying. Men of Israel, Amawa, Barakwa, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Let's do it again. I see you did it wrong. This one, practice. Men of Israel, Amawa, Barakwa, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Stay here. Just want to say it. Yahweh, just repeat it to me.
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barak,
Barak,
Atham.
Aitham,
One more time. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barak,
Barak,
Atham.
Aitham,
One more time. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Barak,
Barak,
Atham.
Aitham.
Okay. So face the sister then. Sister stand, please.
See.
All right. Akib, Amawa, Barakwa. Just do it one at a time. So Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua,
Shema,
Shema.
Af.
Ah.
One more time. Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua.
Shema,
Shema.
Af.
Ah.
One more time. Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushua.
Shema,
Shema.
Af.
Ah.
We would say a thumb if it was more than one sister.
Right.
So now, so now you salute me, sister. Well, you salute us. Say Yahweh. Salute. And now you too, without. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. So Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shema, a thumb. Do it 2 more times. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shema, a thumb. One more time. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shema, a thumb. Shah Shabbat.
That's about.
Shah Shabbat.
That's about.
Shah Shabbat. I just want to tighten it up because we do the holy days.
That's the way to do it.
We do the holy days. We what's that?
Same thing I thought.
That's fun.
That's no good.
Wait,
I might be cursing my brother, right?
You don't like mumble rap? Mumble blessing?
You call me on guard with that.
Mm.
No, I don't like mumble rap.
Mumble blessing.
And don't hate. You got a lot of young artists that are doing their thing. They're just not getting the press they need. We always have a discussion.
I don't understand these young people.
No, it's the corporation, man. They be pushing a certain type of rap,
Mumble.
You got a lot of young artists that are doing their thing, putting out some really good content. And actually talented. Boom shakalaka. What? Issachar? Tribe of Issachar.
Come on.
Yes. Aztecs. What was the calendar? Was it March, April, May, June? Sunwheel? They had understanding of the times. Know what Israel ought to do?
But now. Zodiac.
You know what zodiac means, right? Zo means animal, and then diac means like dial. Diac means wheel. It means animal wheel. Wheel of animals.
Right. Worship the sun and the moon and the stars. Come on, John. Come on, John.
We got the zodiac in a pure form. Right, you can stand up, brother. Oh, you're not feeling well? Oh, we gonna get a blessing. We gonna box.
Strike mother and father, right?
Uh-oh.
Don't provoke your kids. Your children.
All right, so Hafa Pala Mashiach, the anointing prayer. Ya Baraka Yahweh, wa ya Shamarka, ya Ar Yahweh, Panyawe, Al Yaka, wa ya Khanka, ya Sha'ar Yahweh, Panyawe, Al Yaka, wa ya Shamlaka, Shalawam, Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Babakushai, Barak, Rapha, Magan, wa Shamar Ayel.
Yochanan.
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 Daniel.
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 Gabar,
Gabar.
Gabar,
Gabar.
Gabar,
Gabar.
Malak.
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 Pathak Mawak.
Pathak Mawak.
Pathak Mawak.
Pathak Mawak.
Pathak Mawak.
Pathak Mawak. Basham Yahweh Tham Gad the Water Man.
Back in 40 minutes.
Blessings, brother. Blessings. Blessings. You guys can get in the octagon? What you doing?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let me ride that tail with the octagon.
You know what octagon is?
Yeah. Eight-sided figure. What the heck? What does it mean?
It's where UFC fighters go.
Oh,
Oh,
no, I didn't.
what happened?
No, I poured it oil, but like man wouldn't pour it. 'Cause I didn't.
Just put it on my bun.
Where's the supposed to be at?
I was trying to put it here, but man.
Put that on it.
I'm sorry.
A little bit on the head piece. Right here.
Yeah, the paper towel.
It's
Go
fine.
get the paper towel.
Did it go in your eye?
No, thank God.
Oh boy. Israelite bloopers. So that's
Where's it supposed to be at?
like right
fine,
here.
it's
I was trying to put it right here.
You trying to put it.
Yeah, that kind of went down a little bit.
You went down a little bit. You think-
Sometimes we get all over the place. It's like, oh man. More blessings, that's all.
Yes, indeed.
You should Aaron's blessing.
Yeah, ran
Aaron's
down.
blessing going down from his beard out to the skirt of his garment.
Says that in the scriptures. Yes, it does.
Is that the word went?
Well, what the?
Okay, so Hafapala Mashiach, the anointing prayer. Yabaraka Yahweh, Waya Shamarka, Ya Ar Yahweh, Panyawe, Al Yaka, Waya Khanka, Yasha Ar Yahweh, Panyawe, Al Yaka, Waya Shamlaka, Shalawam, Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Babakushai, Barak, Rapha, Magan, Washamar, Ayo. Taylor. Basham, Yahweh Shai, Tham Yad, the water, man.
Just make candy.
You're an MVP. The Jew.
Poor Haman.
Shit. That dude, man.
They figure him as an underdog, but we were the underdog. We were in captivity.
And,
He's a proud man.
I think it helped to,
And the Most High, He is gonna bless you.
the Battle of Thermopylae happened. The Battle of Thermopylae actually happened, I think, before the
Imagine,
story of Esther. You saw that video I sent? That Edomite dude going to the history?
imagine Esther in that garment is like, I'm in Israel, this is not my garment, you know? She's in her private part, she didn't wear it. Imagine you in Persian, it's like, not even wearing Persian stuff. It's like, but captivity. Hamasha Yaka Tapala, the anointed prayer. Yabaraka Yahweh, where Shemarka, Ya'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Alika, where Kanka, Yasha'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Alika, where Shemlaka, Shalawam, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh, Babakusha, Barak, Rapa, Makan, Washamar Isle,
Nabiyah Zebubah.
Nabia Zerubabal,
Nabiyah Zebubah.
Nabia Zerubabal,
Nabiyah Zebubah.
Nabia Zerubabal, Bahasham Yahawashai, Yad, water, Mun. Hey, Nabia?
Bada bing.
Bada bing, that's what James said.
What that mean?
Okay,
Right.
you okay?
5 feet. Hey, we gotta do the hands.
Bada bing.
Hey, where the original gangsters, right? 5 feet.
Bada bing. Bada bing.
Bada bing.
Now with your gangster rap. We're the first gangsters, okay?
You know, I was even thinking about
No what
sometimes.
you say in this bathroom, no what?
It's funny. It's funny stuff. Usually it does, but no.
Should we call a man and tell him you're paying rent to fix it?
You already did that.
What is that?
I think it's the work they really need to do is more than a snake. I think they need to change some of the piping, the PVC. To really get it. That's what I continually. Otherwise, you got to keep flushing every year.
All right, real long snake.
That's
Now,
what
now,
it
you
is.
want me to get my snake and snake there taller off?
Hey, oh yeah.
Hey, that taller, it ain't flushing. We use the plunger, it ain't flushing.
It ain't flushing.
So, you want me, you can try it yourself first. That wasn't me, that's all. Yo, forgot, wow. That's all the clean when you get.
Nabia, you see what I did with my house? No, I probably put a towel in there. No, probably put, a lot of toilet or clog it in like a strong drink.
You gotta make sure you get your leafy greens, brother. Leafy green vegetables. I'm not sure if you.
The what?
We need diet containers, brother.
No, I'm at my school.
You killed our toilet, brother. You killed it.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, Nabia, like with me at my house, with the pipe, it was clogged up, but guess what? Instead of cleaning it out is rusting shut. So if a guy going and clean it out, it's still rusted inside. Instead of the guy
Is
is
it creating pores?
Hmm?
Is it creating pores to the outside of the pipe?
Yeah, when it's backed up, the water starts coming into the top part. But the thing is, instead of telling the man, said, look, that long pipe right you have there, replace that long silk pipe and put PVC in it and have a couple of clean out spots. If anything, he said, oh, he probably said, oh, just clean it out. But the pipe is getting bad and it's rusted.
Right. That's what
You should have told him.
That's what the Ephraimite guy would do.
That's what he told him?
Yeah, but you wanna, I don't know.
But he says no.
I think he was to do that maybe later. Maybe. Plus, we need somebody to fix this. This outlet is busted right here too.
Yeah, because I had it in my house. I said, look, the guy told me $300 to clean out the pipe that is rusting short and blah blah blah, this and that. I said, how much to replace it? They told me $550. So I said, why should I pay $300 to clean it out? And it's still bad.
I won't leave it in the bathroom.
Yeah, please. But please, but the thing is that we tend to do that. But instead of saying that the anointing is like Yabaraka Yahawa instead of Yabaraka Yahawa.
You know what you always have.
People say Yabaraka Yahawa. They say Yabaraka Yahawa. Yabaraka Yahawa.
I'm not laughing at nothing, I'm just laughing at you. Stop looking. Ugly.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I know, make sure that you let it off, man. Set it off. Yeah, they're gonna be wailing. Right.
27:32. Put it here. Set it in my hand. Put it alone. Shoot it right there to the contact. Put it in setting. Like going to the contract.
Also, time of the line, the post office.
You got money?
No.
What?
It's just toilet paper. It's just toilet paper. That's all.
So
It has to be that. That can happen. Because you can clog it up. Whatever. Like, oh,
I'm gonna go home and get my snake.
something wrong with it inside, but it's just too false, but it's still gonna punch down. I got
Can't work from down.
you got a wet dry vacuum? You got a wet dry vacuum at home?
Well, you want
No, do you
Yeah.
have a wet dry vacuum?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring that out first.
no, the snake could just do it.
No. Get the wet dry vacuum and get up all that water out of it.
Now the snake, once I stick that snake in there, water gonna go down the drain.
Yeah, well, because it clogs up into that pipe.
All right, you go get it?
I'm gonna go get it right now. Eat this over. I want to see if now you are gonna plug it first. You can't do it.
I can see you relaxing in your food.
Well, I saw you eating the hamburger when I walked there. That brother's something. He's not gonna give you a bite to eat. He all for himself. He all for himself. He missed that scripture where it said, if you got two, give your brother one.
Give your brother one.
Mm.
In it. Put it in the second.
Amen.
Was it like that yesterday?
No.
Somebody used to
Last night, I flushed it,
yeah,
and it didn't go all the way down.
right? So you plugged it up.
No.
It's not good by itself.
It wasn't filling all the way up. That's why it didn't go all the way down. So I'm filling it all the way up. Because the part that they hold the tank, the one in here, the plunger, that was kind of loose. So I had to hold it down and it filled all the way up, and I flushed it and it went down. Kind of loose though. The plunger, they need a new plunger there.
No, that's a good plunger, the black one.
Not the plunger like this, from the plunger that's in the fresh water tank. Not the plunger, but the thing that hold, the whole water goes through.
The whole water. Okay.
Yeah, they need a new one of them too.
Valve.
Yeah, because it's letting water release before the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't filling all the way up. The tank wasn't filling all the way
This
up.
is the.
And then it's not going all the way underneath the main hole where it clogs up in there somehow. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Because you should, when you flush it, the flush and the pump should have brought it right, should have went right through.
it went through.
And then, and they do that.
It's somewhat of a cloud.
Yeah, it is.
But I think if I bring this snake in,
I think you'll get it.
it'll snake it out. My snake ain't gonna go. Knock my thought right out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you get the Hobie at? Walk.
Hobie, right there at 26 in Leon,
26.
that place makes some good.
They do?
Mm-hmm. Makes some good. Another place to make some good. Hobie. There you go. Pick that way. There you go. Anybody else?
Look at this.